I'm very friendly. That's not, you didn't get it yet, but you will as soon as I... It's not something I chose. I just had I grew up a younger brother and an older brother. And so I'm always weary. You know what I mean? Like, my dad's version of playing with us when we were kids is driving like the devil. And then when he would okay, so he had a snub-nosed van. He had a snub-nosed Angry Dad minivan, a gray one. And he would barrel into our parking spot at 50 miles an hour. And so with a snub nose, you were about 3 feet away from the house anytime at 50 miles an hour. And he would look back with that smile. And so I gave up face expressions for the rest of my life. Because that's how they got their fun. They got their fun off of my expressions. My brother, I don't know if any of you had a sibling, or maybe you were the sibling, that would get your younger sibling to put a 9-volt battery on their tongue. You just check the 9-volt battery. No? That looks like a no. And you're like, I'm so sorry for your experience, sir. It builds character. It builds character. Now I worry of people who want me to want things. If you want me to want something, I'm like, what do you want out of it? Why do you want me to want something?
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's somebody who grew up with siblings. All right. This is true. A friend of mine, we were like teenagers, knocked on my door and he sounded terrified. What happened? And he's like, it's coming out both ends. We're like, slow down. He said, okay, I was at Danny's house. Now, Danny was a friend of ours who was a knucklehead. He wasn't my friend, but he was my friend's friend. And by that virtue, we just hung out in the same spaces. He's like, Danny gave me chocolate this morning. And I'm like, finished? And he's like, it was X-Lax. I'm like, but it's coming out both ends. He's like, I ate the whole box. I'm like, why did you eat a whole box of chocolate that wasn't in a wrapper? That Danny gave you. We know Danny's the guy that fucks up parties. Danny's the guy who, if he's not getting late by 10:30, your party's over and it's his fault. And you know that, and you apologize, and so you sneak out the back way so you're not Danny adjacent, you know? And I'm like, look, I'm sorry for what happened to you, but this is on you, man. Like, this is like Danny me once, shame on Danny. Danny me twice, now it's your fault that you're getting out on both ends. And we try to give him some, like, kid's ointment, you know? Because I had a little sister, and we're like, here, put this on your butt. He's like, what do you guys want to do to me? I'm like, oh my God, what do you think we're going to do to you next? We're giving him ointment for his butt. And he must have thought we were going to grape. Yeah, anyway. I do want to say it is difficult for me, who's the male version of Wednesday, I don't know, to come on after improv energy and match Maxwell Baum Schlitz's energy. It was difficult. But here we are. Yeah, I grew up in Southeast LA. My parents are immigrants. Yeah. And I used to blame that on a lot of the things they fucked up, but apparently they just kind of sucked, you know? Sometimes your parents are just people and they're like doing their best, and it's like, all right, you know? My mom's old now, and she drives like an old lady, but she always drove like an old lady. On their way to school, because we were a late family. We were the family that, and now I have a disdain for being on time, because when I'm on time, everyone else is late. I will say I've been to 3 of Maxwell Baum Schlitz shows, and I've always been late because they've started on time, and I was on time today, and they were late, and I could never be more angry. I was on time. You know what? You know how proud I am of myself when I show up on time, on the minute. I'm like, it's 8 o'clock. I know I should have showed up at 7:45, but I'm on time, technically speaking. My family was a late family. I used to get yelled at by my teachers. But on the way to school, nobody knew that my mom was stopping at green lights. And I used to say this because the cool thing about growing up with your parents as immigrants is you get to be playfully racist toward them all your time growing up. I get that you're an immigrant, but you have to drive with an accent. She didn't like that. Not care for that. She would have this phrase, you are not my stepfather, you can't tell me what to do. I'd say, that's fine, but you need to pick a lane. Please pick a lane. Everybody inside and outside the car is terrified. My dad owned a Salvadorian restaurant. We are not Salvadorian. Never cooked a day in his life. Not once in his life has he ever. I've never seen him in a kitchen, near a kitchen. I think he fantasized of an environment where he would say dinner and dinner would happen. I think that's how the whole thing happened. Why Salvadorian? We lived in a Salvadorian area. My parents are Ecuadorian. I know it sounds like different Dorians. I know we're just different Dorians, but it's very different. It's pupusas and not pupusas. It's like the pupusa versus the not pupusa culture. I honestly don't even know if there's such thing as Ecuadorian food. All I know is, I don't know. I hear there's a lot of yucca. I don't know. All I know is I don't grow a mustache because people speak Spanish to me too much. That's a problem. I envy anybody who can. I envy your mustache. You can just grow it, right? You can Movember it, whatever. Now it's known as November. I think that's a horrible evolution of ideas, but that's fine. If you want to be a bitch for a fucking month, go for it. An angry fucking hatred, that's your hatred little person. Anyway, I learned all my English in kitchens as an adult. I learned, anytime you learn from workers in the kitchen, you learn all 300 words for dick. And you learn that you can just kind of get by on an accent in most languages. Did you know the Spanish word for cheeseburger is cheeseburger? And spicy is apparently spicy. I feel like I grew up with a pretty realistic confidence. Like, I know I'm 5'7" and a half. That's how I know I'm short. I hang on to the half. Right? For a little while ago, they don't do it anymore, but a little while ago, everyone was on the participation trophies, like, oh, too many parties. First of all, that wasn't my fucking idea, all right? I didn't choose that. Also, in my school, they made it really backhanded. I got a 9th place ribbon. So I got the proof to take home of exactly how bad I did. And my mom, I don't know what characteristic you would call it, but she's just like, well, you finished in front of somebody, right? I'm like, don't patronize me, Mom. This is a 9th place ribbon. I tried to hide it, but you found it. I've always known. I just kind of know, you know? I hear about women faking orgasms. I've never had a woman care enough about my feelings. And she's just having an all right time. But I also don't believe, I feel like I've gotten some fake compliments and I just don't believe it. I was seeing a girl and she's like, I'm definitely gonna have wet dreams tonight. I'm like, no, you're not. Why are you saying that? That doesn't even make sense. If I'm not having wet dreams, you're definitely not having wet dreams. I will reflect on, hey, I had a date tonight, and you'll do the same. You're like, I hope Gino still likes me. I've had return business. You know, we're all just glad to be in the room. You know? We're doing our best. We're glad to be in the room. That's what. If someone's faking it for you, thank them. Thank them. They're doing their job, whatever they think that is, or whatever. Also, if you feel like you have to fake it, go somewhere else, man. I don't know. I have to fake it for him. No, you don't. Do something else, or give people a realistic confidence. People tell me things wherever I am about me, who I've never met before. Like, I'm shopping at Target, and I'm just getting my items rung up, and the woman looks up and says, hey, you look like the guy from No Country for Old Men. And I'm like, you can say hi before you say something like that. How's your day? You look like a murderer. How you doing? My mom, oh God, that's horrible for against my girlfriend. Did not understand. We'll keep that between us. She's like, she doesn't watch movies. She's like, what's she saying? I'm like, oh, she's saying I look like a serial killer. And she looked down and said, I'm sorry, that man's been in other movies. I said, yeah, but you weren't thinking about King Triton, were you? You were thinking about a haunting figure. The haunts kids' nightmares, and then they look and see me in a haunted fit. They're like, hey, the serial killer likes house music. Can't be all bad, you know? I don't know how to reconcile the fact that I am a pacifist who looks like I want to murder everyone in the room. But I am and I don't. So, just, you know, I'm a friendly guy. I'm a very friendly guy. In my house, it was really important to be right. That was a super important thing. My mom was affluent, and my dad hated that shit. My mom grew up with, like, I don't know if you know, in South America they have white people, but they're beige. But in South America they're white, but they look like this, they're beige, you know? And so my dad was white trash, my mom was white privilege. It was, you know, they were each other's fantasy. It was like, oh, I'm getting that. You know, for her, she's like, oh, I'm getting that dirty dick. I think that's what she's thinking. So my mom was always like, everything's gonna work out. And my dad's like, nothing will ever work out. And so I didn't know which one to lean on, you know? But my mom raised us with a dictionary, and so we had to look shit up anytime there was an argument. And so in our house, if you were wrong about anything, you wouldn't live that down for the rest of your life. So just an example, one day she's like, it's in the periphery. We're looking for something. It's in the periphery. We're like, what the fuck is the periphery? So, you're Americans. You don't know what the periphery is? The periphery. She wouldn't let it go to this day. That happened when I was 13. To this day, if she can't find something, we're like, maybe the periphery took it, Mom. So when I found my girl, I knew she was the right one because our first vehement argument that we got into, and it felt like it was going to be a relationship ender, was over the pronunciation of those, you know those Italian peppers? What are they called?
Pepperoncinis.
Pepperoncinis is how you say it. Anyway, that's how you spell it, is all I'm saying. And then she started mansplaining to me. She's like, take a linguistics class and you'll see that I'm right about how you pronounce it. I was an English major. I chose to be this poor, all right? When you took a class, I paid so much money to be this annoying. And then I'm like, you know, she's the right one for me. She's it. And now we're in love. And we're going to get married. And we will have no children because we're too poor. All right. Thank you. That's my time.